Hello and welcome to this video where we'll be covering high-level points about QECO. So QECO stands for the Qualifications Evaluation Council of Ontario. The purpose of this governing body is to evaluate teachers' qualifications for their salary purposes. The main thing about QECO is that they decide what pay category you'll be placed in depending on your level of education. So as you can see on my screen here, this is a sample salary schedule. Category A would be the default tier. So as an LTO or as a contract full-time teacher, if you don't have your qualifications evaluated through QECO, you'd be put into tier A. Versus, for example, if you have an undergraduate degree and you evaluated yourself through QECO, then you'd be in A3. Now, it's also important to note that QECO only tells you what category you're in, but your salary schedule is negotiated locally between the teachers union and the respective school board. So if you are in A4 and you are employed by Toronto District School Board and you have a friend who also is in A4 but is employed by the Durham District School Board, your salary schedules will not be the same necessarily. The number of steps can also differ. As you see here, this is a 10-step schedule, but you could also have 12-step schedules in some districts or 13 in others, so it varies. But the general idea of this matrix is similar. You have categories across the columns and then you have steps across the rows. Well, now you're probably wondering, how do I move myself up these tiers? If I'm currently standing in category A, how do I get myself to category A4? Well, QECO has this webpage, which I will link in the description. It goes over their evaluation methodology. So for example, let's go into the general education chart, which will be applicable to most of you, I assume. As you can see here, they've given you what qualifies you for category A, A1, A2, A3, and A4. If you want to get into A4, you can go down over here and it says what you'd need. And it gives you several options. There's several pathways to get you into these categories. The most common way teachers get into category A4 is by using additional qualifications to boost themselves up. So additional qualifications are basically these extra courses that you can take. For example, if you go over to OCT's website, I'll link this in the description. They give you a way to search for providers of AQs, and you can get an AQ, for example, in special education, mathematics, technological courses, etc. There's a bunch of interesting AQs that you can add on to your profile to give you that boost, right? So you'll have to reevaluate yourself through QECO once you've completed those AQs, and then hopefully you'll be pushed into the next tier. So when can you apply to QECO? Well, you can apply to QECO right after getting your transitional certificate or your permanent certificate, because normally to be eligible for a QECO evaluation, a teacher must either be a member of one of the teaching affiliates like AEFO, ETFO, OSSTF, or you must be employed by a publicly funded school board in Ontario. And these affiliate memberships usually cost money, right? There's union dues. The exemption, however, that QECO provides is that for newly certified teachers, if you are applying for your very first QECO evaluation within 4 months of receiving your OCT certification, you don't need to be an affiliate member yet. And this rule applies whether your certification is a general certificate or a temporary or / transitional certificate. So it's in your best interest to get your QECO evaluation, your first one, done within 4 months of receiving your OCT. So to apply for QECO, you simply navigate to their website, click on sign in on the top left, and then you'll have to register using your OCT number. So you will need your OCT process complete before you can head over to QECO. It's that 6-digit code that you need to proceed here. Once you put that, you'll register. They'll ask you to verify your personal information, which I believe they'll pull from your certificate. You will be asked to upload transcripts, and then it's just a waiting game. So some folks have reported that QECO is getting back in about 15 to 16 weeks. So that's quite a long time. That's about 4 months. So it's in your best interest to get to these processes as soon as possible. Get the NPT done, get your OCT process started, and then your QECO. So by the time you've graduated from the program, everything will be set and you'll be able to smoothly transition into an LTO or a permanent position, hopefully. Alright, and that's a wrap for this video. Once again, we just wanted to go over the high-level points about QECO, what the process is like. And of course, if you have any further questions or inquiries, let the peer mentorship team know. We're here for you, and we wish you all the best.